nonviolent, peaceful protest? I think the main thing is probably awareness. I mean, the thing that you're trying to do is gain awareness, and I guess that kind of goes with how do you get your voice heard without violence, is awareness, awareness, awareness. And I know that that kind of runs dry after a while, that word. But if we're getting this word out that we are able to protest and show our dislike for something happening in the world by getting people involved, I think that's how we do it. I don't know. I mean, it is tough. It's a tough question.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I definitely agree with you know, awareness, and also you know, creating understanding, right? Sort of creating dialogue between one another. And that's something like we had a discussion about. It's like, how do we begin to discuss these things, because it's so uncomfortable. And I think that even the classroom is definitely a safe space to do that, especially with the right facilitator. And I think that also in classrooms, when you create these dialogues, it sets up practice for outside of the classroom.
Absolutely.
So I think those are definitely two necessary steps.
And I think
peaceful.
Yeah, and off of what he's saying, kind of the thing that we focused on this semester was just how do we open, we thought about it in a very broad spectrum. We said, what is the issue and how do we solve it? And really we came down to having an honest discussion and an honest dialogue between everybody in the world. It's not just a race issue, it's an issue about human rights, and we need to have a dialogue in order to actually talk about it in a way that's going to fix anything. So, for instance, on next week on Tuesday, we're going to be having a Ferguson Town Hall meeting where that's our goal. Is we're going to have people come and talk about what their point of view is on the issue, and we're going to just be able to finally have an open and honest discussion without being judged or feeling like we don't have a say. Because a lot of people feel like they don't know how to talk about it or don't want to talk about it because they're afraid of what others might say about it.
Yeah, definitely. And so, is it possible to get your voice heard without violence, and how? Absolutely. You know, I think again what we've been doing here is one means of getting your voice heard. Another sort of thing that I like to look at is those who don't speak, and I'm sort of guilty of that as well. But you know, when you don't speak, your voice is still, in a sense, heard, right? Saying that you don't care, and maybe you don't want to try, or maybe you're just stuck and you don't know what to do. And so, I think even being silent is another means of saying a lot. By saying.
And I think so. The last question: who are being affected the most by the Ferguson Trayvon Martin case? And Michael Brown, it's just everyone. I mean, I think it's really detrimental to the African American and Black community, but it's really also horrible for mankind. It's really hard to watch as me being a white person watching this happen, and I do feel like, wow, I can't imagine being on that side of it, but I also can't imagine that it's happening from my point of view, thinking, how did we get here, and how is it not progressed as much as we would like it to? And so it's hard for both sides, but I think it's really hard for the side that's being marginalized and oppressed for hundreds of years.
And I would agree. I think it affects everyone. You know, although sort of the scope is on, you know, African Americans in Missouri, Ferguson, also, you know, Blacks and Latinos here in LA as well, you know. But overall, if you look at it holistically, it's affecting everyone. It's impacting everyone. And so that's why it's more important for those who aren't speaking to realize that it's still affecting them. You know, we try to detach ourselves from the situations, but it's affecting us all. And so that's why it's our responsibility as conscious human beings willing to engage in dialogue to create peace through action, peaceful action.
Thank you.
Yeah.